Dear Jasper's mom and dad, this is your training reference video. So you can use this to guide you whenever you forget anything or if you're confused about anything pertaining to how you should handle Jasper back at home. So I'm going to make everything crystal clear. First and foremost, please understand that once he comes home, each of you have to make an individual effort to build a personal relationship with him. It means daddy's relationship with him is personal. Mommy's relationship with him is personal. So each of you have to take time to build that relationship. And what you're going to use to do that is exactly why he came to school. So everything that he's been taught is now the language that you will use to communicate with him to build your relationship with him. And I'm going to demonstrate how each of you should go about that each time. These are things you need to do with him, I would say just 2 to 3 times a week. So it's not as if it's an everyday thing. So first and foremost, if daddy, you want to practice with him, take him by yourself to a space where it's just the two of you and then have your session with him. And when mommy, you want to practice, you do the same thing. Make sure it's just the two of you. Now, one of you can watch. It doesn't matter. Just as long as you don't interfere with whatever is happening. So you just make a good distance between you and then whoever is dealing with Jasper and allow them to have their own relationship going on. So now I want to take you through step by step when you begin each of these sessions, exactly what you need to do. And so to begin with, you will need your classroom, and your classroom is the leash. So anytime you put a leash on him, he gets the sense that, okay, I'm back in class, I'm about to do all the things that I've been taught to do. So you want to make sure you have your leash. The second thing that you need are your treats. So I use chopped up chicken sausage, and I would recommend you use the same. Now, these sessions should be short. So for you, you should do about 10 minutes maximum. And you just keep it short and simple and interesting, and you are good to go. If you want to do it again during the day, you can do it later on in the day again. And make sure you do it at least twice a week, or 2 different days in a week, or 3 if you can afford to. But if you do it every day, he might get bored. So 2 to 3 times, it's okay. So when you get your leash and you put it on him, the first thing you need to be mindful of is how to walk him. So when you're walking him, you want him on your side, like that. So if you notice, I'm holding on to the shorter end of the leash to make sure that he's on one side. If I keep it long like that, he has so much room to make mistakes like he's making right now. So I don't want to keep it long, I want to keep it short. Now, he's at the basic level of his training, so he needs that level of guidance. So for the next few months, when you're walking him, always keep it short. The more you practice, the perfect he becomes. So after some months, maybe 6 months or something, you realize that when you leave it long like this, there's no problem. He still stays by your side. So keep it short. And when you're walking with him, please, don't pull. Don't be pulling like this. When you're pulling, when it's straight like that, it means you are pulling. It means there's tension. Don't do that. That is wrong. When you do that, it means that he's not the one walking, you are the one pulling him. So he's not learning anything. What you want to do is make sure the leash is loose and make sure he's the one walking. And if you want to encourage him to walk if he stops or if he's trying to pull behind, what you do is you jerk it like that, what I just did. So the jerk is like that. So my hand jerks and then it releases immediately. Bah! So if I'm moving forward and I jerk, I leave and allow him to be the one to move. If I'm turning him around, I jerk and then I allow him to be the one to walk. I'm not pulling. If I turn, I jerk just to let him know, hey, we have turned, let's go. And then I leave it loose, allow him to be the one to walk. And then when we stop, I can just hold a leash to stop him there. And then he goes into a sit. So basically, that is how you walk him. Never pull. If anything, and you want him to catch up, just jerk the collar. But the jerk is a one-time thing. So it goes like that, like that, like that. Okay, like that. Perfect. So that is how you walk him. Anytime you're walking, keep a short leash. Don't pull. Allow him to do the walking. Just jerk to guide him. Jerk. If you have to jerk 2 or 3 times, you do that. Turn, jerk, jerk. Good boy. Yes. This way. Good boy. Very good. Yes, very good. Okay, then I stop him and he sits. So if you notice, when I was coming, I jerked and he was still looking. So I jerked again, he was still looking. I jerked and then when he focused, I relaxed it. So what happens is he will realize that the jerking happens when his mind is elsewhere, and when his focus stops. So he will learn to focus more. That's the idea. So that's it with walking him on the leash. So now, practicing his behaviors, like teaching him to sit down, lie down, and all of that stuff. That is where you have to use your treats. So you hold your treats in your hand like a bowl, right? So your palm becomes like a bowl, and then you use your thumb to support the treats. So it looks something like that. And then you feed the treat to him usually from under his muzzle, right? Their puppies, they have sharp teeth. So if you feed it from up here, he'll be coming like that, trying to grab your fingers, and he might hurt you with his teeth, unintentionally, of course. So what you want to do is, when it is in your hand like a bowl, you put it under his mouth, and then he'll fetch it out like a bowl. So that way you don't feel his teeth at all. So when you have the treats, the first thing you do is to give him a treat. You see, he's excited. Because once he has the first treat, then he knows the games are about to begin. So you give him one treat to let him know, and then you get his attention. And then you begin to engage. So, stop it, good boy. The first thing that you want to practice with him is calling him, getting him to respond. So whenever you call him, Jasper, yes. If you notice, when I said Jasper, as soon as he started to move, I said yes. And when he got to me, I rewarded him. That is very important. That word that I said yes is the most important word that he needs to hear from you. Pardon me just a second. There is someone passing, so the dogs outside are making a bit of noise. Okay. I just want him to completely pass by, and we can get some peace and quiet again. All right. So I think we can continue. Sit. Okay. All right. Jasper. Yes. Very good. So I say Jasper. He moves. I say yes. And then when he gets to me, I give him the treat. Very important to say that yes is the most important word your dog needs to hear from you. Every time your dog does what you want and you say yes, then he understands that yes is I'm doing the right thing. So if you're not saying the yes, then he's not really learning anything. It means if you don't have treats, then he will never listen to you forever and ever. But the more you say yes, the more you can reduce the treats until it reaches a time he'll do maybe 100 things before you give him even one treat. Because all he needs to hear to get encouragement or motivation to continue is yes. And he will know that, okay, I'm doing the right thing, let me continue. So you want to get him to understand that everything, if I call him and he comes, yes, and then I give him a treat. If I ask him to sit and he sits, come, sit, yes, and then he gets his treat. If I ask him to lie down, down, yes, and he gets his treat. Even if I free him, free, yes, and he gets his treat. So everything I say yes right after. Now, if you notice, I've took him through his routine very quickly. So it is come, yes, very good. Jasper, sit, yes, very good. Down, yes, very good. And free, yes, very good. Those are the basic commands, right? Now, I'm going to take you out step by step how to go through each of them. We've already gone through come or just calling his name. So you can either call him or say come, yes, and then give him his treat. The next is sit. So with a sit, what you want to do is you want to practice face to face. So you want to use your hand. So when you call him, show him your hand. Let him come. When he gets to where you want him to get to, you take the hand away and you say sit, and then he will sit, and then you give it to him. If you don't show him your hand and you call him, he can come and be walking around you, and you don't want him to learn that kind of behavior. You want when you call him, he should come to you face to face, sit down. So use your hand to guide him. So if he's in front over here and I call him Jasper, I use my hand to get him to my center, sit, yes, and then I give him the treat. Now when I ask him to sit, the moment I ask him to sit, I take the treat away. Stop it. The moment I ask him to sit, I take the treat away because I don't want, stop. If he's doing anything you don't like, ignore him. Don't mind him. Don't even do anything with him. Then he'll realize that you don't like the behavior. Sometimes you can say stop, but if you keep saying stop and he keeps doing it, just keep quiet and leave him alone. So as I was saying, when he gets to you, when you show him the treat and he gets to you, before you give it to him after he sits, you take it away. So when I say sit, the moment I say sit is the moment I'm taking the treat away. Then after he sits, I say yes and give it to him. So it will be like this. All right, Jasper, come. Sit. Yes. So you notice it's like sit, sit, sit. So I say it as I take it away. Come. Good. Sit. Yes. And then I give it to him. Very simple. So with the sit, that is how you go about it. Free. Very good. What I just did there was free him. It means that all I want you to do was sit. You've sat. Now you're waiting for me to tell you what to do next. And I don't want you to do any other thing next, so I've set you free. So I want you to start like that. When you ask him to sit and he sits and you reward him, then you free him. Free? Yes. With the free, whilst the treat is in your hand, you just swing your hand to your side and say free and allow him to walk to your hand and pick it. The idea is that you're allowing him to pass you by. The next thing is the down command. So with the down, the same thing. Call him and guide him. And then point down, yes. And as soon as he goes down, you say yes and you give it to him. Because if you don't guide him, again, he might go anywhere. Jasper, down. Yes, good. He's down, oh, but he's on my side. But I'm standing here, so I want him here. So what I should have done was guide him. Jasper, this way, come. Good. Down. Yes, now he's in front of me. Perfect. Yes, very good. So with down, you point down. Yes, good. And then afterwards, you do the free command. Free? Yes. So I'm going to do that again. So I call him Jasper. Come. Good. Guide him down. Yes. And when you point down, you keep your finger pointed. Sometimes he might delay. So just keep your finger there until he goes down. Yes. And then you give it to him after you say yes. Now, the sit... Stop. I'm putting the treat away so that he'll know that if he's doing that, then he'll not get anything. So now that he's seen I've put the treat away, he's stopped. Right? So as I was saying, with the sit command, when he's standing and you want him to sit, you do what I did. You say sit and raise your hand. But when he's lying down and you want him to sit from the lying down position, you take the treat, hold it above his head and say sit. Sit. Yes. And then you give it to him. Sit. Yes. And give it to him. The reason why you do that is because when he's lying down, he's very comfortable. So if you don't do something to encourage him to get up from the comfortable place, it's difficult for him to respond. So to make it easy for him, you do that. You hold it above his head. Sit. Yes. And then when he sits, you give it to him. And then you free him. Free. Yes. Very good. So that's for the down command, and also that's for the free command. So now, if you combine everything, it will be like, come. Yes, very good. Come, sit. Yes, very good. Free. Yes, very good. And then again. Come. Down. Yes, very good. Sit. Yes, very good. And then free. Yes, very good. Now, the last thing that you should practice with him is the stay command. After the stay command, I'll teach you a bonus, something that I taught him. Actually, two bonuses, something that is not part of the program, but I just taught him. So let's do stay. So Jasper, come here. Good, this way. Sit. Yes. So the first is to let him stay in a sitting position. So I say sit. When he sits, I say yes. Then I say good sit, and then I walk away. And then, no. So I dropped the sausage, so he got up to pick it. So try to make sure that you don't drop your treats. Otherwise, you'll get distracted. But when he makes a mistake, you take him back to the same spot, sit, and you do it again. Yes. Good sit. When you come back, you say yes, and then you give him the treat. And then you free him. Free? Yes, very good boy. Okay, so we are going to do that again, right? So I'm going to take him to a spot, choose any spot that I want. So this time, let me do it somewhere here. Good, sit. First in the sit position. Yes, good sit. Yes, so when I turn and I see him there, I say yes, to encourage him. And when I get to him, I say yes, and then I give him the reward. And then I free him. Free. Yes. Very good. Good boy. Very good. So we are going to do the same thing in the down position. So I'm going to bring him to this spot this time. This way. Good. Down. Yes. Good down. So this time, instead of good sit, I said good down. And then I walked because he's in the down position. So I walked away. When I turn and he's there, yes, good boy. Then when I reach him again, yes. And then I give him the treat. And then I free him. Free. Yes. Very good boy. So that's how the stay command works, right? So with a stay command, you can push it further and further. Try to get him to stay even when he can't see you. So this time, I'm going to let him lie down here. Then I'll go all the way so that he can't see me and see if he'll stay. And then I'll come back and reward him. Come here, this way. Good. Down. Yes. Good down. It's very important to say good down when he's lying down, or good sit when he's sitting. So I've come all the way. He can't see me right now. Okay, now I'm going to come back. Ah, there he is. Yes. And then when I get here, yes. Then I give him the treats. And then I free him. Free. Yes. Very good boy. Very good. So I want you to push the boundaries of the stay. So try to go. So first, when you start, make sure he can see you. Don't go far. Because this is more for you to learn than for him. He has learned. Now it's time for you to also learn. When you learn and you get comfortable with it, then you can start to stretch it. And I want you to be mindful of how to correct him. So as I said, if I tell him to stay here and I'm going and he gets up, I'll bring him back to the same spot and then say sit. And when he sits, yes, good sit. And then I walk away. When you say good sit, then he understands that you want him to remain seated. And then you come back and then you reward him. Yes, very good. So that's how you teach him to stay, right? Sometimes I'll even go into the kitchen. Down. Yes. Good down. Very good. So if I open the door and he's still there, yes, good boy. I'll come and reward him. Yes. Good down. And this time I'll go inside. And then come back. Ah, he's still there. Yes, good boy. Yes. Good down. And then now I'll free him. Free. Yes, good boy. Very good. Okay. So you can do that, and then you can even spend longer time in the kitchen. Small. So first you do 5 seconds like I did. Then you do 10 seconds. Then you do 30 seconds. 1 minute. That is how you continue his training, right? That is the first steps for you to continue his training and get him to be better and better. So pretty much that is it. That is what you need to go through with him. And when you do it all together, it's very fast. So I'm going to do everything together. So you realize that this is under 3 minutes. So let's start. Come here. Good boy. So first, let's take a walk. Good. Come. Good boy. Very good. Let's go. Good. Very good. Remember, hold at least short so he stays on one side. Make sure you keep him on one side. Yes. Sit. So you can let him sit even whilst he's on your side. Sit. Yes. Very good. Very good. And then with that one, free, let me demonstrate something. When you're walking on the leash, especially outside and he's distracted and you say sit and he's not listening, all you have to do is raise the leash up, hold it up, and then as soon as he sits, you release it. Right? Yes, good boy. Okay, so now I'm going to let him do everything this way. Okay, come. Yes, good. Very good boy. Come, sit. Yes, good. Very good boy. Good boy. Free. Yes, good. Very good. Now down. Come. Good. Down. Yes, very good. Good down. Sit. Yes, very good. Good sit. Free. Yes, very good. And then now stay. Come. Yes, sit. Yes, good sit. Yes, very good. Yes, good sit. Very good. Free. Yes, good. Now stay in the down position. Come. Good. Down. Yes. Good. Down. Yes. Very good. Yes. Good. Down. And now free him. Free. Yes. Very good. And that is it. Very short, very simple. One more thing that I have taught him, which is a bonus, is a handshake. So with a handshake, let me take this off so that it doesn't block him. So with a handshake, when he's sitting, it's easy. So always do it when he's sitting. So just call him till you let him sit. So I'll call him. Sit. Yes. Then I'll hold a treat in my left hand because I want to use my right hand to shake him and I want to use the left hand to reward him. So when he sits, yes, good sit. Then when I say the handshake, I always say hello whilst I stretch my hand to him. So I say hello. Yes, very good. And then when he stretches, I reward him. Very good. So let me do it sideways so you can see much clearer. This way. Come. Sit. Yes, good sit. Hello. Yes, very good. Good boy. Very good. Now, there's a trick. Whenever I'm saying hello, I try to make sure the back of my hand touches the right side of his mouth. So it's going to be like, hello. Yes. And then I get his handshake. Very good. So that's bonus number one. Bonus number two is you can command him to bark and he'll bark. So whenever I want him to bark, I say speak, then he speaks. So with that one again, I let him sit first. Come, sit. Yes. No, come here. Sit. Yes. And when he sits, yes, very good. Now I'll hold a treat in my hand and then I'll ask him to speak. Speak. Yes, very good. And as soon as he barks, he gets it. I say yes, and then he gets it. Now sit. Good. Speak. Yes, good boy. Very good. Speak. Yes, good boy. Speak. Yes, good boy. Very good. Sometimes I can let him speak for a bit long. Speak. Yes, good boy. Good. Speak. Yes, very good. And then you free him. Free. Yes, very good. And that is it. So those are the two bonuses. So he's good to go. He's a very smart chap. If you practice with him, practice makes perfect. So try and practice, practice, practice. 2 to 3 times a week is enough. Have a good time with your dog. Enjoy it. Because if you are stressed out, then leave him alone. But if you are stressed and you want to be shouting at him, everything will be going backward. So whenever you're upset, just leave him alone, okay? And try to calm down before you interact with your dog. Because your dog doesn't understand what you're going through. So it will just see you, and now anytime it sees you, it will be afraid. And you don't want that. So rather, if you're upset and you're going to deal with your dog, try to calm down. Try to just pretend you're happy and then interact with your dog. So when you're training, you want it to be fun. Look how he's paying attention because he's enjoying himself. It's not like a punishment. So you want to keep it like that. Good. Come. Whenever you have a chance, just do something like what I'm doing. Put a treat in your hand and just move him around. It's very good. When you are moving him around like this, he learns to follow your hand. So when he's a big dog and you want to control him, you want him to go to a particular place. When you point there, he'll go there. Come this way. Good. This way. Good. Sit. Yes. Because I want him to turn so that we'll both face you. So practicing that makes him used to that kind of movement. If I want him face to face, the same thing. Come. Good. Bring him here. And then sit. Yes. Got him right here. Come. Good. Spin. Spin. Good boy. This way. Come here. Follow me. This way. Come here. This way. Come. Come. This way. Good. Good. Sit. No. Come. This way. Yes. Sit. Yes. And let's say goodbye together. So this has been fun. And I hope you find this helpful. If you have any challenges, I'm a phone call away. And we're out.